So what was life like before you joined the Million Dollar Trading? What were you looking to improve in the business in life?
This one. We sort of just felt stuck. The business we'd got it to a certain point and we just felt everywhere we turned, we couldn't get it to that next level. We looked at different business coaches and sort of didn't find the right fit. And just, kept coming back to feeling stuck.
From my side, obviously when we created it, I was sort of probably more hands-on than Sarah as well. And we built it up from nothing, obviously, so that you're doing it all yourself. So everything was stuck in my head, and I'd try and do it all. I'd be working the whole time. Quickly realised we couldn't do everything, so I got rid of the installing side, and we got people in to do that, which was great. Sarah got more inside the business as well and started taking on a lot more of that admin. But it was, I think for myself, it's not so much I had control, I didn't want to let it go. It's just, I'll just do it. It's just easier, I'll do it. I won't spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes telling you what to do. I'll just do it myself. So that always confused everyone, and probably I just stuffed everything up, really. So
He'd forget to order products.
Yeah, we forget that a lot. Just too busy in that sort of area. So it was, so that's where, we just couldn't seem to get to that next level. So why, what's going on, and what's the challenges? So
how did life feel with that?
Chaotic.
Yeah,
very
chaotic. Just every day waking up and it's just bang, bang. We've got 3 kids too, so throw that in the mix. That doesn't, it's always chaotic there as well. So then you throw work in where it's chaotic too. So it was always just...
putting out spot fires all the time.
Yeah, very reactive.
What have been the biggest changes that you've made working through this process?
Probably the first one was definitely the systems and the processes. Someone asked me about it today. We're still implementing them, but everything was in my head, all the admin side and the ops side was all in Josh's head. So actually writing them down and realising how much we do, and having it all just, nothing was written. There was no process to follow. So really implementing all the systems and processes.
The other big thing that we did too was our head installer, we moved into an operations manager role. So, which took a lot of pressure off myself having to control that side of the business as well. But again, it was just getting that process and those systems written down so he understood it. So it's, that training and all those sorts of things too. We had to spend a lot of time with that. But that's been a huge shift, The other massive shift, I think, is looking at our numbers. So, I thought I knew the numbers. I'd look at the profit and loss sheet month and the balance sheet, and I know it all. But when it really came down to it, I didn't, because it was, you could always see what we're spending out. We saw it coming in, and then everything started to sort of change a little bit. And then eventually I'm like, hang on, there's something going on here. We need to really delve into it. And that's where the help with Jeff and a few of the others around the crew. We realised that, we'd increased a lot of our overheads, but hadn't increased all our pricing. And we also wanted to shift our customer base from that lower end to the higher end anyway. So back costing, all those sorts of things come into it, and then we just started increasing our GP across the board, and and our service install rates and all that sort of thing, and it's through the roof just this month. We just looking at it quickly the other day, we're at a 59% GP with a net profit of about 36. So that's a huge increase from where we were. So we've had a big month this month. Next month might not be the same. But that wouldn't happen by putting in those little charges. We put in a consumables charge now, and we do these little things, just tweaked it, and it's just really increased it. And, again, like the other fellow saying, we couldn't cut our overheads because they were needed, but we had to tweak a few things there too. So that was a massive change for us, and it's starting to pay off now as well. Yeah.
And I had no idea about the financial side. I never really looked at it. That was his job. And then, since joining PT, I understand it a lot better now. And we can have, good conversations about where the business is at, whereas before it just went over my head completely.
That's awesome. You talked about the systems and the processes. So can you just explain for all of us what systems and processes you really worked on and changed? That would be lovely to know.
So to start with, just an admin manual. We didn't even have an admin manual. So if I was sick or something happened to one of us, we wouldn't even know no one would know what to do. So we implemented that. We got our ops manager to start writing up the operations manual, which is a huge job because how many products do we sell?
15, 20.
So just trying to write out how to install every single product. So he's still working on that. It's still a work in progress. Josh started writing up, I think you finished the sales manual.
Close.
Getting on his back about that one. Accounts. So we've written up the accounts process, which we didn't have. And then recently I started doing the marketing plan, which I've just finished. And again, our marketing was very ad hoc. It was, I'll throw some Google ads out, I'll do an email campaign, it's quiet. But now I've got a full process of every month of the year and what we're doing.
The other thing just to add with the systems and processes too, it was also connecting them together. So that when we won a job and then how that handed over and processed into the operations manager. So, we use a software management system called ServiceMate, probably a few of you out there know it, just creating queues. So now that it's like, we won the job, it goes to a certain queue, the operations manager picks it up and talks to admin to make sure deposits are being paid, and then it goes into check measure ordering, those sorts of things. So it wasn't even just so much as, well, this is admin. It's like, well, how does admin work to sales, and how does sales work to operations, and how does operations work to the install? So it's just trying to piece all those bits and pieces
So we
together.
can't forget to order the blinds anymore.
How good is that? How often, for everyone here, is it all good in this area, but it changes over and it falls through the cracks? I mean, that happens a lot, right? That's a real pain in the ass, so that's awesome. Yeah,
it was happening a lot, so it's much more efficient.
Jeez.
A little bit.
Depends which side of the fence.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I'm always the one that gets in trouble, so that's why I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Just don't be a troublemaker, you'll be fine.
No, exactly.
The marketing side of it, I'd love to just dig into that a little bit. So what have you put together? Like, is it a calendar with what you'll do when, or
Yep. So I've got a calendar, 12-month calendar for email marketing.
Yep.
I've got a 12-month calendar for lumpy mail. I've taken over the social media as well, so I've got a 12-month calendar, and I've broken that down to weekly. And then based on also what's happening, if it's spring, I'll do something based on spring. If it's grand final for AFL, which in Melbourne's huge, I'll do a post on that. Google Ads is pretty much outsourced, but I still sort of, we give them ideas and that sort of thing. So pretty much I've got about 11 different ways of marketing that is all itemised in a calendar.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it's good.
Juicy. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's talk about results. So what have been the results of the changes that you've made for, first the business? I think you've alluded to some of them, but we can go through those. And for you and for your families.
Well, quickly on a revenue side of thing, we had a revenue goal that we wanted to hit this financial year just gone, and we did. We smashed it by about 60, 70,000, so we were really excited about that. I think we can even clean that up a lot more, and there's some stuff up's even still in that, so we can probably improve that a lot more and obviously hit our next goal from there on. So that's the biggest thing I can see from there. The other bigger thing for us is the operations manager really taking that control of that. So that's been the biggest thing from a work perspective. Personally, Sarah, you can answer that.
Joining this program, it's been amazing. Just the amount of learning that I've done in the last 6 months. I've realised that I love learning again and implementing the changes. It's like at first it felt very overwhelming at times, which Lisa would know when we were feeling that. But then just, talking to the coaches and then going through to the next process and just doing the best you can. Sometimes you just got to go, look, I'm doing the best I can, and but definitely learning everything through this.
Yeah, let's talk mindset. What are the mindset shifts that you've made through this process?
For myself is obviously just spending the time with people to let them know how to do things within our business. So instead of just going, I'll do it myself, it's quicker, I'll actually teach them how to do it. So that's obviously a really big mind shift and a shift there too. A shift for me recently as well is, our next sort of evolution is to put on a salesperson that can take over a lot of that lower end. So that's another mind shift for me, that I can actually just step on it and what did my operations manager say to me the other day? You just need a helicopter around and just sort of touch in and make sure everyone's all right. So and I said, that goal, mate, that's exactly what I want to do. I think it was a underhand backhand of just keep out of everything.
Just sod off, mate.
Just bucket everything up. You just stay over there and just make sure everyone's right, then that'll be cool. So, my mind shift actually sort of get out of that day to day, if you want to call that, and just sort of be there to help us grow, because we have got some big plans of where we want to take the business. So it's if I can have more headspace on that. So that's where my shift's sort of been. And
Mine would probably be just having more of a growth mindset. I find that, in your mind you're like, oh no, we'll never be able to achieve that, or won't be able to do that. And just having that growth mindset of, well, yeah, we can do it. We can achieve whatever we want.
And I think it's amazing, and one of the reasons we do this and talk with hot seats and case studies is actually seeing what other people are doing, because that, for me, as a business owner, if I can see someone else doing something, like, well, why the can't I do it as well?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's really powerful. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. I love your work. Would you be open to a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
Of course.
Well done, guys. You're killing it. If you could give us the top 3 things other than the learnings you've spoken about from the Profitable Tradie, whether it be a system or a webinar or something, what would they be?
Well, for me, back costing, 100% would be definitely one I would be implementing straight away. Probably marketing for Sarah, I'd say, getting that marketing plan. I mean, we've already talked about that. I think the big one for me is confidence. I think everyone sort of thinks you've got some sort of confidence, but when it really comes down to it, how much have you got? To make those big steps when you're maybe not sure if you're quite there yet, and put on this person, go and spend an extra $25,000 on rent to increase your business in your area. So for me, just having all these bits and pieces you can get on a website, look at it, pick up a phone, with PT to go, just do this, and this, and that'll give you the confidence to make that next step.
I'll add one more, just to trust the process. Like, we've implemented all these changes and it's so easy for Josh, as he does it more than me, to slip back into old habits, and then I'll sort of pull him up and go, you're doing that again, and then you're like, oh, that's why, So to trust the process and try and follow it as best you can.
Don't change the script.
Awesome. Great work, team. I love your work, and what a great team as well. So good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, some love.
Cheers.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you.